Hannah Weeb, and I'm a student nurse, and I'm going to demonstrate blood administration as well as a chest tube dressing change. For the purpose of this video, I would have a second RN doing all the checks with me. As well as when I'm spelling out the names, I would fully spell out the name and not just state it, but for the video, I will just state it. So I'm going to take my blood bag and my label, and I'm going to compare them, making sure that they're correct. So I have AB positive here, AB positive as the component. This is red blood cells, and then I'm going to look at my donation number. So I have C051008900445, which is right here. And then I'm going to look at the component number, and it's E6050V00, so that's right. So this is all right. The volume is 358 milliliters, just to note that. So I'm now just going to cover that up, and I'm going to take my record of transfusion and compare it. So I have Jerry Adequate. My FIN number is MB261824-375, so that is correct on both sheets. My patient blood group is AB positive. I'm going to look at my donation number. So it's C051008900445. It's right here. The component number is E6050V00. That's also the component number here. And the component blood group is AB positive, so AB positive and AB positive do match. I'm just going to look here at the chart. So for Jerry Adequate, I see that he has given consent, verbal consent for blood. I'm also just going to check the doctor's order for Jerry Adequate, and there is an order for 1 unit of plaque red blood cells over 2 to 3 hours. I'm also going to look at the type-in screen. So once again, Jerry Adequate. The type-in screen here is not expired. Also says here is not expired, and it is AB positive. And then I'm just going to check the demographic sheet and spell out his name and make sure that it's the right FIN number to make sure it's the right patient. So I have Jerry Adequate here, and my FIN number is MB261824-375, and it is confirmed here. So I'm now ready to give the blood. I'm just making sure that the blood bag is intact, that the blood is red, and there's no visible blood clots here. And then I'm going to bring a second nurse with me, as there has been a second nurse. I'm going to do some hand hygiene here, and I'm going to enter the room. I'm just making sure the patient is in no visible distress or anything. Make sure there's nothing hazardous, everything. She's going to send me Fowler's already, and he looks good. So hi, I'm Hannah. I'm a student nurse, and I will be giving you your blood today, if that's okay with you. Yeah, he would have the right to refuse again, but he's not. I'm just going to put a pair of gloves on, just because we're handling blood components. And I'm going to do a 2-patient identifier with the label here, as well with the second nurse. So I'm going to grab his wristband here. So I have Jerry Adequate. The FIN number is 261-824-375. And would you be able to spell me your first and last name, please? Yeah. And would you be able to tell me your birthday? Awesome. Okay, so we're now going to hang the blood. So just looking here, the blood is all hung already, it's primed. We have a bag of normal saline. It is the right tubing, as it is the blood tubing. For the purpose of this demo, it's not fully full of the filter, but you would want the blood to be completely filtered. I'm going to go to the machine here. I'm going to press primary, and I'm going to change mode, and I'm going to label my line. Label line, and I'm going to label it as packed red blood cells. And find it.
Okay, now I see that my patient's oxygen is 100%. So now
red blood cells. So I'm going to select that. I'm now going to put my rate in. So for blood, we like to start off slow, so I'm going to do the rate as starting off as 50 ml for 15 minutes, and it's 358. So I'm only going to run this rate for 15 minutes, just watching for any adverse reactions or anything within this 15 minutes, and then after 15 minutes, I'm going to increase the rate. So I'm going to run it over 2 hours. So I'll increase the rate to 197 milliliters per hour. I'm also going to get a second nurse just to check this, just check the pump, make sure it's okay. it is, and I'd also get another nurse to come back when I change the rate after 15 minutes. So I'm now just going to grab the patient, just explaining, I'm just going to grab the brown lumen here and I'm going to alcohol swab it and flush it. So I'm grabbing the brown lumen, alcohol swabbing for 30 seconds, letting it dry for 15. I already consented with the patient, it's okay if I put the garbage there. Just keeping both these ends sterile. I'm going to unclamp it here. Okay, and I'm going to instill 1 milliliters and then aspirate for blood return. There's blood return. I'm going to push pause the rest, leaving just a little bit left there. I'm just going to make sure this has remained sterile, and I'm going to disconnect this and just attaching this here. Okay, so that's the clamps open. Sort of thing. I'm just ensuring that all my roller clamps are open here. I'm going to ensure this roller clamp is open. It is. We're good. Normally you'd have an extra normal saline bag running just in case. I'm going to press start. So I'm going to confirm primary, press start on the machine. So I'm going to watch for my 3 drips here. And once I see my 3 drips, I'm going to ensure that I'm going to stay with the patient for the next 15 minutes. I'm going to take vital signs as per protocol, so every 15 minutes for the first hour, then half an hour, and then an hour. I'm going to look for any adverse reactions, such as like back pain, temperature, or any rash like that. And then I would, in 15 minutes I'll stay with them, and then I'll put the rate up to 197. So for the purpose of the demo, I am just going to stop my machine here and turn it off, as I'm going to start with my chest tube dressing now. Okay, so I'm just going to take these gloves off and clean up these supplies a little bit, and just switch this over. So I'm just going to do a chest tube safety check. I'm going to go over to the suction here. I'm going to make sure that the ports are on everywhere here, and it's going to be on the low continuous suction, so just in between there, which it is. I'm going to just follow it here and make sure that it's connected to my tubing. So it is connected. I'm just going to open my patient's thing with his consent and just take a peek at his chest tube. Just making sure that the dressing is dry and intact, making sure I can kind of feel for it, see if there's any subcutaneous emphysema. I'm then going to make sure the chest tube is not actually dislodged and it is stitched in. I'm going to follow the tubing down, make sure there's no kinks or clamps, and make sure that all the tubing is correctly. Just following all the way down here. I'm making sure that the drainage is below the site, making sure that the suction is connected here. If there is draining, I would empty it and note the color. I'm going to make sure that the orange ball is visible here. I'm going to make sure that this is at 20 centimeters of water. And then going to look at my air leak chamber, and then check here for titling. So for titling, the fluid would move up and down every time he breathed, and that would be where we check for air leaks. So if it was bubbling, there would be air leaks. So that's that. Just making sure that's on. I could demonstrate, I should have my emergency kit, which has clamps in it. It has normal saline. I will find it. It has normal saline, sterile water, and some extra gauze. I'm just going to demonstrate how to check for an air leak. So basically you just clamp down closest to the tube here, and then clamp down here. And if the bubbling would stop, that means the air leak would be here, so I would change the tubing here. If not, I could continue down to clamp until the bubbling would stop. So that is all. I'm now going to do your dressing change. I've already done your identifier, so I know who you are, and I've checked the doctor's order, and there is a doctor's order. So yeah, we're just going to change your dressing tube like you normally do. I'm going to lift your arm if that's okay with you. Yeah. So I'm just gonna lift his arm up here, and I'm gonna kind of open that there. I'm gonna grab my things. So I'm just gonna put a pair of gloves on here, and I'm gonna set up my tray. Okay. So I'm just gonna open up my dressing field here. Would it be okay if I put these gloves here? Yeah, awesome, thank you. And just grabbing my blue forceps here. I'm gonna pass this to myself.
It's not called on anything, and I don't see any
Pass that to myself.
so I'll look at the collection chamber. So I can see the
Here, just for extra
make sure that we have the right
protection.
fluid in our
And then gonna move my forceps.
chamber here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to check the amount of gradient in the color, and I'll stop send whatever is
Just gonna move this over just a
and I'm going to make sure that in the tube leading to the patient, there's also the
going tip to tip, moving them out. Tip to tip.
this would usually be bubbling a little bit, especially because there's
This here. I'm going to add my drain sponges.
full there. So in order to check that, I would want to go up.
Just winging that back using the wing method. And grabbing
Sure that the connections are all attached.
While I'm not working very well, so I'm going to use these ones because they're all still sterile. And then there. Add the garbage.
So if there was bubbling,
And then I'm going to grab my Jello Net packaging. Once again, winging it back. This is used, so.
and if that's
And we're just going to grab this out.
was on the patient side, I would want to check the dressing, make sure that everything's there. If it continues to bubble, I would go down the tube, and two at a time to find the sections of tubing that have in it. And then
It's a little difficult to sometimes grab these.
if it's on that end, or if there's
Gonna work at it.
tubing here, maybe up on the patient side.
Try to put these down and winging it back a little more.
The plants available, so they're up here. And normal saline as well. I can do that now, so.
Just making sure that I'm still keeping everything sterile while doing this. I'm gonna try it different. I'm gonna try opening it a little more. Make sure that I'm not touching anything and remaining everything sterile there.
Alright, so I got all my supplies here to do the dressing change. And I've brought the patient up so that they are waist height and the table is waist height. I'm going to go ahead and hygiene again.
And there we go. Everything still has remained sterile, so I'm going to put that in the garbage, and I'm just going to add my normal saline in.
And then I'll open my kit before I take the dressing off because I don't want to do it
Careful not to touch anything there.
especially if it's got
And bring that down. I'm now going to take my old dressing off. Just being careful around the thing. I'm just going to rotate my tray here so I'm not breaking sterility. So just taking the Mefix off first, noting if it is still dry and intact.
in the garbage bag. I will just grab because it's not sterile. It doesn't need to be garbage.
Just carefully taking the Mefix off, making sure that the tube stays in place.
So I'm going to get my forceps.
This tape can be very sticky, especially on Jake. It would come off a lot easier on a real person. But the mannequin makes it a little hard.
I'm going to open up.
And then gently take that off. As I said, I'd be a lot more gentle with a real patient, but as this sticks a lot on Jake, sometimes we gotta be a little more aggressive with him. Not aggressive, that's a bad word.
I'm going to add my gel in it as well. So I'll open that up. Now put the whole thing in here.
I'm going to, I'm unable to take this off without scissors right now, but you're not supposed to use scissors. So I'm just going to shift this down and say that it's taken off, because for the purpose of Jake, I cannot take it off. I'm going to I'm going to look at the site.
Now I'm ready to take off the dressing.
So we're just going to pretend that's not there and it's all taken off. I'm going to grab my blue forceps now and take my Jello net, and I'm going to dispose of these forceps. I'm going to take these gloves off. I'm now going to be assessing the stoma site, looking for redness and looking for if the skin is still intact there. I'm now going to put some gloves on.
Make sure to stabilize this. This is stitched in real life.
Gloves on. I'm now just going to grab my two forceps. Make sure those are sterile. And I'm just going to make little rosettes now to clean. Water, squeeze it out. So I'm going to clean in half circles. So I'm cleaning above the circle, putting that in the garbage. I'm now going to clean below. Once again, just making rosettes with 2x2s. Drip it in normal saline, squeeze it out. Clean it below, making sure not to touch the tube so that it's still sterile. And then I'm going to clean the tube as well. We're only going to clean the top side of the tube just because the bottom would be stitched in on a real person. So I'm just going to squeeze that out and going to clean the top of the tube like that. And now we're just going to do the same process but with drying now. Once again in half circles, making rosettes and ensuring everything is remaining sterile. So we're going to clean above in a half circle and then the garbage.
I can assess the stoma, so I know that it isn't red. There's no edema or
Clean below. And then just drying the tubing.
And I have my dose at 3 units per hour. 3 units per hour.
And drying the tubing here. Making sure that's dry. We're now just going to get the Jello net off of its package.
Okay, then I will check. Now I can clean the drop monograph.
And I'm just going to twist it up here.
The second nurse check. It can be administered by student nurse. And because I'm giving continuous, IV continuous, I will need
So just making this tightly.
100 units, 1 ml of 100 units per ml.
And I'm going to put it around the chest tube, and I'm going to make sure that it's occlusive so that no air can leak through. Just being careful. The site is sterile, but still don't want to touch it really with my forceps. So putting that around the dressing, make sure it's occlusive. I'm now going to put my 2 sponge gauzes. So I'm going to put one this way.
So I did my first check. I have my red medication here, insulin human R.
And then one the other way here, just grabbing that.
Ready. IV continues.
I'm then going to just put a 4x4 and on top of it. And now the sterile part is over. I'm just going to put some Mefix. I would then document the process of cleaning it, as well as the stoma site, or not the stoma site, sorry, just the chest tube site, as well as if the dressing or any drainage. So I'm going to put Nufix here, I'm going to tent it here, and I could put another piece of tape on it as well, just to make sure that it's all occlusive here. There you go. Tenting that, and then I just document, and I clean up.